open to ask questions, be open to learn, and this is a session you want to go over and watch the video over and over and over and over, right? So before, let me stop my own personal introduction and let the audio do the introduction, right? A minute. So give me a minute, then we can start. Where is my, this is not want to show. Okay. Can you all see my screen?
Yes.
All right, awesome. So
Adeniranye Daniel Ifeoluwa is the author of First Class Physics, an undergraduate physics textbook. He is equipped with extensive leadership experience and has strong ethical values. Ladies and gentlemen, for this year's edition of Leven's Crisis Mentorship, please welcome Daniel Adeniranye.
yeah, you're welcome, sir. We are glad to have you here. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you very much. Just to quickly confirm, can everyone hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Awesome, that's great. Please, at any point in time, if you experience difficulties in hearing whatever I'm saying, please kindly call my attention. Mr. Moderator, please do well to call my attention in case of any technical glitch. I am not inside my office. I'm just in an open space. And so as a result of that, there might be one or two little distractions, unforeseen, but I think there should be none. And that's why I'm giving you an extra in case of anything, please do call my attention to that. Well, my name is Daniel Adeniranye, and I welcome each and every one of you to this session. Please, Mr. Moderator, can you enable me to share my screen?
All right, definitely, sir. Done.
Okay. So another confirmation, can you all see my screen?
Yes, we can see your screen, sir.
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much. Well, this is day 4 of this program, and this is mentorship program, November 10th, 2022. Well, the agenda for this session is going to be basically, I will run you through my experience as of when I remember so far, my experience, where I have been to, where I am coming from, where I am presently, and where I am going to. And after that, I will also share practical crises I have witnessed in my life so far. This is because I believe in practicality. To discuss a matter like this, or the topic for this session or for this year's edition, actually requires practicals. And this is how I'm going to launch this section. It's not just about me telling you about definition of what living crisis is, what crisis is, or listing types of this, how to do this. but let's be practical from a real life experience. And from that, you can choose which one applies to you. Which one do you see applicable? How do you want to make sense of that at the end of the day in your own life? So because of that, I will advise you to please listen attentively, take some jottings, so that at the end of the day, you can probably ask questions. I also believe in questions and answers. Ask specific questions that you might probably need answers from, and we'll take it from there. Hopefully, I hope that at the end of today's session, in one way or the other, you will have a cause to say, oh, wow, thank God I made it to this program today. All right, let's get started. Just to confirm again, can you all still hear me and see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, I prefer yes instead of sir. Let's leave the sir for now. All right, it's all good. Well, please, Mr. Moderator, can you take note of the number of persons that came earlier today? And in any of these persons that desire to do a follow-up with me, I will be willing to share my time with them. For they being able to make it on time to this program, it's going to be a form of compensation. I'm not to be biased for those that are coming late. We all have different issues of life or things we are doing, but then you register for this program, you already should have included it in your schedule. So please take note of that. I'm seeing, I think 9 participants will be on my, will be able to share my time with me. All right, so the first thing we're gonna do is an activity. And in this activity, there are 2 ways we can do it, either through a poll or let me use this Zoom. We're gonna collaborate on this Zoom, and this activity is just an answer to a question. You're just gonna answer a question. Let me pause my sharing. Just give me 1 second. So I'm gonna share the screen back. Open and collaborate. Have you guys used whiteboard before on Zoom? On this same Zoom, I'm gonna pose a question. Let me know if you can access it. It's on Zoom. I'm gonna share my screen very soon. Bear with me, please. Okay.
We are actually seeing our screen on the whiteboard already.
Okay, thank you for that. Thank you for letting me know. Okay, so
yes,
and you can still see my screen.
No, sir, not anymore.
Okay.
I can only see your face now.
Okay.
But it's now back to your screen.
Okay, thank you for helping with that. So, which means everyone can see my screen at the moment.
Yes, we can.
Oh, okay,
Yes.
okay, that's great, that's great. It's gonna be a little bit messy, but what I want you to do is to click on this shape box. Can you see what I'm doing? Can you see my screen presently?
Yes, sir.
It's black.
Okay, okay. So if you can, click on it.
Ibukun. Can you see the screen at Ibukun? Please, everybody should confirm if you can see the screen. Though I can see it from my end.
Yes,
Yes,
I can.
Yes, I can see the screen, sir.
Okay, so this is an activity for you, and what you're gonna do is each person is going to create a shape, and you're gonna put it under this question I've posed to you. In one sentence, describe your personalized greatest fear in life. I want responses to that. If you can't use this platform, put your answer in the chat. Okay, if you are finding it difficult to respond to this on this whiteboard, put your answer in the chat. In just one sentence, please kindly describe your personalized greatest fear in life. I need responses in 2 minutes, please, maximum of 2 minutes. If you are using the whiteboard, just create your own shape, extend it just like my own, and type in your response. And if you are using the chat box, just respond as well. Fear of stagnation. One minute more to respond. Well, after this session, you can still continue to respond in the chat. Your greatest personalized fear in life. Fear of venturing into new things, no confidence. Okay. Fear of procrastination. Thank you, Precious. Abiba Oluwadamilare, thanks for your response. Adedola for source. Thank you. All right, so we're gonna stop here and let's take a little dive into some of these responses, and from there we can continue and launch this session. The question is, what is your personalized greatest fear in life? Everyone has a fear of something in life. But the question is, how do we handle this fear, or how do we suppress them in order to overcome them, which is something that is very important. Several factors might have contributed to this fear of the thing. For example, unfulfillment, you feel maybe you're not going to be fulfilled in life. Oh, then the question or the response would be that, what are the things that you need to do that can make you a fulfilled person in life? You get what I mean? Like a fear of not being reckoned with. You need to know that you are distinguished, you are a unique creation. And as a result of that, if you do your assignment well, if you invest in yourself well, then you should know that you can make it and compete with anyone in the world. You should not be afraid of failing, because anyone that wants to make it in life will have to make attempts. And when you make attempts, is when you probably see if it's going to be failure or it's going to be successful. And when you fail, you don't necessarily fail, but you only realize another way or the right way of doing something. You understand? So this should help us to conquer our fear, maybe by way of doing something new, by way of not procrastinating, like say giving excuses, tying those excuses to your background, or maybe because of your family lineage, maybe you don't have supporting parents, no financial dependence. You know, so many things contribute to all this fear of a thing. But do we live on our fears? If we do, then we are not ready to be relevant in life. All right. This is going to be the end of this activity, and we progress to the next chapter. I hope you are noting down something, and I hope it's been useful to you. I need to start sharing the screen now. You know what? I'm not actually sharing my screen, and you are seeing my screen. So I'm beginning to wonder what kind of technology is that. I just started sharing my screen now. So please, can you all still see my screen?
Yes, we can see the slide now.
Okay, okay. Thank you so much. So thank you for participating in the activity. Please, Mr. Moderator, in the chat box, can you put type END to that activity so we can know those that responded on time or in time? Who knows? Maybe there will be something for them. Thank you so much. So my name, as I've said, is Daniel Ifeoluwa. Ifeoluwa is my middle name. My surname is Adeniranye, but I normally go with Daniel Ifeoluwa. In this time, I'm going to run you through my background. I want you to count yourself lucky because I am not that kind of person that do what I'm about to do now. I do not do it at all. And I have never done it. I have never done it, I repeat. And so I want to take a snipe at my biography so far. And why am I doing this? I want it to serve as a force. I want it to serve as a lesson, an encouragement, and an external influence on your own mindset. That is why I am sharing this section with you all. I was born in Mushin, Lagos State. You can see by the pictorial view, very crowded area. This was a ghetto. I was born in a ghetto and I lived at least the first 24 years of my life in this ghetto. During this period, please, can you still hear me, everyone?
Yes, sir, clearly.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yes,
like I
sir.
said, well, if for anyone that will get the best out of this, is that person that listens attentively and, you know, infer one or two things or deduce one or two things that can relate to your own life. I went to Ajenifuja Primary School in Lukweju. This is a government underfunded public school. By underfunded, I mean low resources in terms of teaching capacity, the teachers. In fact, there are some subject teachers we don't even have. This was the primary school I went to. In this school, I was appointed the timekeeper, which I served while I was in primary 5. And a notable event that happened in this school was right from my primary 3, I had a very good handwriting, as I can recall from what my mom told me. A very good handwriting, and because of that, my teachers then do ask me to help them write as early as that primary 3. And I also used to be first position, but when I got to primary 6, the event turned around. I came 6th position, and the fear of going home, the fear of not wanting to be nothing other than being forced, made me to alter my results. I mean, I changed my results from the number 6 position to number 2. I probably wanted to try to change it to 1, but you know, from 6 to 1 is more difficult compared to 6 to 2. So I changed my results. That was a criminal offense, you know. I got home, my father saw it, and immediately he knew that something happened. He knew that that was in my results. He asked us to go to my teacher's place to confirm if truly it was second I took or I changed it as he sensed then. I did something so terrible. And what was that? I took my father to a house, an unknown house that is not the house of my teacher. And this was a house where there were so many Hausas there. And so if anything had happened that day to my father, it would have been my cause. So the man you see today is someone that has done so many terrible things as well. I proceeded to Inupeju Secondary School, where I had my high school, both the junior and the senior, for 6 years. In this school, also, it was underfunded. We lack teachers. In fact, I recall in my SS1 and SS2, we didn't have a physics teacher. And most times I would have to study, self-study from textbook. Notably, in this secondary school, I serve as the timekeeper as well as the head boy. Our color uniform then was white before it was later changed when I was in SS3. Now, what do I want you to learn from this? My story in my high school was that for good 6 years while I was in this school, every day, early in the morning, we wake up, myself, my brother, and my mom. We wake up as early as 5, 6 a.m. and we dress in mufti to go to my mom's shop where we have to, bring out the goods she's selling, arrange everything. And after finishing, I put on my school uniform and I walk down to school. Well, the distance from my mom's shop to my school then was not that far apart. So every day I was doing this up to the point that I was head boy. And being head boy of a public school where the population is nothing less than 3,000 in total, students passing by my mom's shop will always see me. They look at this boy. This is our head boy. What's he doing here? These are periods when one could be shy, like, oh, these students are going to see me. How are they going to respect me? How are they going to, take me serious in school? But then I have no option. I have no choice. Why? Because that is where we make money from. I mean, that is where the whole family gets the money from to sponsor us, to school, to feed, to do so many things. So it was an obligation I have to do. And I did it well. And after I finished close from school at 2 o'clock, when others are waiting for an extra class from 2 to 4, I go back to my mom's shop. I still assist her in the shop until we go home again. In the midst of all this, I was still the head boy. I still try to, my father wakes me up anytime, 12 o'clock, 12 p.m. at 12 a.m. at midnight on my request. And he never fails to wake me up in order to study my books. Like I said, most times I self-study, I understand, and I go to school the next day to teach my colleagues. And this was how I started building my teaching skills and ability. Well, after my secondary school, I didn't gain admission because my O-level result was not released, not until about 7 years later. I think the reason could be because I had a very good result because I prepared very well for my O-level. And so seeing the result that seems like the best result they've seen so far from the school raised suspicions. And as a result of that, they withheld my results. And so I couldn't gain admission immediately, even when people see me that, oh, these are one of the brightest students that are going to gain admission immediately following their secondary school. This was a period as well that most of my colleagues impregnated so many ladies. They used the influence of being a prefect. Like I said, I was the head boy. So others who were prefects use that influence. When you are a prefect, you are a champion. Ladies will always flock around you. So many ladies flocked around me. And because I also teach people, I teach students, both my classmates and my junior ladies were flocking around me. But thank God I didn't impregnate any lady. And that didn't deter me from my dream. And what was my dream? I wanted to be a change agent because my family was very humble, very poor, and consciously I knew that, and I was not ready to become poor. I wanted to change the history. So in one way or the other, that helps me to stay focused. So 3 years following my secondary school, I had to rewrite another O-level in another school, which I had my result, and that was the result I used to gain admission to LAUTECH, Ladoke-Akintola University of Technology. While I was entering this school, I was coming with a mindset of, I want to make it. I want to be the best. And that helps me a lot, that mindset, because even though there were so many circumstances that would have prevented me from that, at the same time, I still persisted. Well, briefly, I wrote a textbook. I graduated at the end of the day at the top of my class in mechanical engineering. I served in Abraka, Delta State University for 1 year, where I was also faced with so many challenges of ladies as well, who were ready to looking for someone to, you know what I'm talking about. But then in one way or the other, I just keep navigating through all of this. Following my service year, I had a joint degree from IPS Uniport and IFP School France. I had some work exposure with Charles Day and an engineering firm. I proceeded to University of Southampton in the United Kingdom, work in Dubai with the Ministry of Education, and presently running my PhD at FIU in the United States. So this is just a brief run through. In the midst of all these, there were challenges. And now I can't touch on all these, but this will point to whatsoever questions you ask me, then I can speak to that. Now, this is life. But then, now what? What are we talking about today? Life essence in the midst of crisis. Like I said earlier, I am not here to give you definitions. No, I am here to share my own experience with you. And like I have said earlier, you should infer or deduce from that. Discovering life essence amidst crisis. Have I faced crisis before? Oh yes, many crises, but I choose to present to you just very few. For those that are just joining us, maybe about 2-3 persons that joined us along the way, I have said earlier on that I have never shared my life issues with anyone before. So count yourself lucky to be a partaker of this, but it will make more sense if you can relate it to your own life and see the best out of it. I grew up in a family of 7, inclusive of my father and mother, with 5 children, where I am the last child. Only 2 boys, but I was the last child. At the moment, I am described as the last child, but just like the first, because of the capacity God has put me into and assignments and responsibilities, initiatives that I have to take. We lived in one room. We lived in one room. A family of 7 lived in one room. I don't know if that relates to you. It's so funny, right? In a face me and face you, what we call face me and face you. That was where we lived. One room. It wasn't a standard room. So how do we sleep? We have to, we have a table, we have a chair, and every day, each night, we have to raise the chairs upon each other and put the table on the chair in order to clear the floor for us to sleep. And we sleep longitudinally in the sense that you can't shift left or shift right. You have to sleep straight. This was how we lived for 24 years of my life. You see, so I'm from a very humble background where there were so many struggles and challenges. My father had to borrow money from people, in order to pay our school fees. My mom had to be the sole breadwinner of the family, going to shops because my dad had some health challenges. But still, he was a just man who was ready to make sure his children become someone relevant. And in his own little capacity, he tries to, wake us up to read, encourage us. I was very close to my father. I was the closest as well to my mom. So I share their virtues a lot. But fast track to date, we can only look at all of this as history, which means, are you going to have history to tell in years later? What are you doing, or what will you have to do in order to rewrite history? This is left to you. No one is going to do it for you. No one is going to write it for you. You have to be the writer of your own story. I'm still writing my own story. I've rewritten some, and I'm still writing. Today, I am a first generational student. By that, I mean the first in my lineage to have degrees, and we will get to that later. Another notable life essence, crisis I'm going to share with you is still practical to me, to myself. Just to recall again, can everyone still hear me, please?
Yes, sir.
Precious, can you hear me?
Sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, just say yes. I'm more okay with yes. All right, I'm gonna do some brief calling. Ibukun, what's up? Can you hear me? Is Ibukun there? Ibukun Oluwatoye. All right, moderator, please take notes. What about Oluwadamilari Oladeji? Are you there? No response.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. Olalere Joy.
Yes, I'm here. Yes, I'm here.
Okay. Got you. Olalere Joy.
I'm here, sir. Yes, I'm here, sir.
All right. Salt of the world.
Salt.
Okay. All right. If I don't call you, this is just a random check, so never mind. Adedolapo Ibiyemi.
Yes, I can hear you, sir.
Oh, thank you so much. And let me go with one more person. Oluwatoyin Adeyanju. Is Oluwatoyin Adeyanju in the house? I think he or she might be having troubles with his or her mic, as it's not showing anything yet. All right, that's just a random check. Never mind if I didn't call your name. Let's go to, please, like I said, please drop down your questions. We have about the next one. Another crisis that happened in my life was when I was about gaining admission. Remember, I told you my O-level result was withheld. I had to receive for another O-level, which I had the result, but still I applied for admission. I did JAM. I I think my first jam score was maybe 264, if I recall, and that was the lowest. I did jam 3 times, which means I got the necessary, the needed score. I chose mathematics as the course I wanted to study at first in the University of Ibadan and the University of Ife, Lautech as well. But I wasn't getting admission. So there were so many obstacles. The reason I don't know, because I had all the requirements. Then, when I eventually gained admission, what happened? An unfortunate incident, which was my mom's shop, which happens to be the only source of income for my family that has, well, valued as of then, we can say about $1 million, $1 million naira, valued at $1 million naira as of 2005, 2006, 2007. Everything got burnt. No single pin was rescued out of this shop. Before then, my mom has made several promises like, oh, you are my last child. I know what you are capable of. I'm going to, fund you to your to your university. I'm going to make sure you excel, you get educated. But then came this blow, this massive blow of putting an end to our source of income. I still went ahead and I graduated from that school. How did I foot my bills? My tuition fees and everything was through the help of God. When the enemies decide to close option A, God in his own way has already been creating an option B for me. And so the enemy's thought over my life was defeated. And so I was able to self-generate money from my first year on campus, my second year, all through my campus, which benefited so many people as well. I didn't have a reason to be financially down while I was on campus because I found myself doing legitimate things. And so I graduated eventually. Another notable thing, which is going to be the last I'm going to share with you for now, before we do some practice together. As you can see in the image, it's showing burial ground. I lost my father when I was about going for service in 2014. My father died December 25, 2014, Christmas Day. My mom died this year, about 7 months ago, March 21st, 2020. These are my backbones. These are the people that have sacrificed a lot. In short, let me put it this way. These are people that sacrificed the whole of their life to make sure I become someone. And gradually, well, my mom was able to get a little taste of her hard work. But my father was not able because, like I said, I was just finishing my service year then. So till date, these are still regrettable for me as a person. Like, I'm not able to take care of my support channel. I want to encourage you, if you have the opportunity to do whatsoever thing you desire for your parents in any little way, whether you are working in a big firm or in a small firm, please do take care of them, buy them gifts, send them something. It's gonna be cherishable for you. And now that my parents are dead, would I, because of that, not continue life? No way. I have to make them proud. In fact, notably, let me tell you that it was the death of my mom on March 21st, 2020, that is motivating me presently. That was one of the main reasons I resigned from my place of job. You'll be surprised. Why? Why will you resign? Let me tell you, humbly speaking, the job I resigned from is paying me nothing less than 3 million naira monthly. Yet, I resigned from it. What? To pursue a PhD. Not everyone will pursue PhD. So if your own way doesn't go that way, it doesn't matter. But for me, I was motivated because I want to become that Prof. Dan my father used to call me. I want to become that professor my mom used to call me, and I want to make them proud. So emotionally, even though I'm still triggered most times with my mom's loss, since that is the most fresh one, I still try to motivate myself. I still try to push and say, I'm gonna get this for you. I'm gonna get this PhD and I'm going to attain this. And for me to have resigned, it might be a foolish decision to some. In fact, if someone wants to make such step, I would say never try it because it's not easy. From receiving a good salary up to the point of having to cut it short, it's a very big thing. Please give me 1 minute, please. 1 second.
Okay, sir.
All right. No, I'm okay. I'm okay. I can continue.
Right.
I just have to quickly say hi to someone. Yeah. So what I was trying, what's the lesson I'm trying to draw out of this is that what's more can show you off balance than all of these stories I've shared, all of these crises that have happened to me. So you check yourself, look at the crisis you are facing, and ask yourself sincere questions. What can you do? How can you navigate out of this crisis? Then you just have to do them. You just have to do them if you are serious. You just have to stop procrastinating. You just have to stop so many things. You just have to implement so many things in order to become someone relevant in life. I hope someone will take lessons from this personal, private experience of mine. Still pen down your questions should you have any, and we can relate more. What is the takeaway, or what are the takeaways from today? And what can I tell you? Well, I have spoken directly to discovering life essence amidst crisis. I have dwelled more on the aspect of crisis. I mean, being practical about situations that we'll face in life, which everyone faces. Fears, circumstances, unpleasant situations, and the likes. But in this, how can we still make sense of life? Of course, I will not deceive you. You have to pray. You have to be determined. You must not relent. You have to be dogmatic about the change you want to make in life. And with that, I leave you with these takeaways. Do not quit. What are you quitting for? Except if you want to die and end your life. Why should you have to end your life when anything can happen? Do not quit in thinking about life has been so messy to me. Life is not fair. I'm from a disadvantaged background. I don't have what my mates are having. Presently, I have no job. My mates have jobs. I didn't finish well from school. My academics results are not good enough. so I'm gonna quit, I'm gonna give up, my dream job is not forthcoming, or I have a job but it's not paying me well, or I don't have a support system, no uncles, no aunties to look up to, you know, several instances. Are they enough for you to quit? Answer the question by yourself and make sure you get what your motivations are. Pray for your decision tree, because in life, you're gonna make so many decisions. Your decision is what is going to make you or mar you. Your decision is what is gonna separate you from the rest. Make the right decision, make the right decision, check your decision, make the right decision. Live a simple life. Who are you bugaing? Let me use the word bugaing. Who are you bugaing? What do you have that no one has had? What money are you making that no one has made before? Or why are you looking at people on social media who are flaunting their wealth and you feel you are left behind? Do you really know the source of their wealth? Live a simple life. Because at the end of the day, all these things we are clamoring for, we're going to leave them behind on this planet. I personally am living a simple life. All I just want is to give a generation to my children, is to leave a generation that my offspring, or my children will not suffer and have reasons to excel in life. Enjoy your life meaningfully. I say that purposefully because many people, in the name of you want to enjoy life, you do things that at the end of the day, they will be the ones to destroy you. So be careful and live a meaningful life. Don't settle for less. I've always tell people around me, do not settle for less. Where I've worked to date, for example, I've worked in a place for 3 years where I happen to be the only male gender, where I happen to be the only Black man from West Africa, from Nigeria, who was born in Mushin and grew up in Mushin. I've worked in such space. And what propelled me to such space is because I chose never to settle for less. I want to urge you, do not settle for less. If you don't want to settle for less, you also must be ready to pay the price. You must be ready to pay the price. There are several prices to pay, and that is it. All right, brothers and sisters who are present in this today's event, I have a last thing I'm gonna share with you, which you're gonna put answers to. You might choose to do that in this session, and you might choose to respond later. I'm not gonna check the answers now, but just respond. Well, you can take a screenshot of my email, and program coordinator, sir, please permit me to share my WhatsApp only in case anyone that wishes to drop a voice note, or I would prefer voice notes on any matter or issues you want us to discuss about. Well, consider our conversation as being private. And that is why till date, many people choose to relate with me, because whatever Mr. A tells me remains with me and not for Mr. B or C. All right, so my background, this same humble person from a humble background till date has had degrees in mechanical engineering, petroleum engineering, project development, project management, engineering and computing education. That is my own story. Your own story might be you've had your first degree and you are working in a very great firm. You are prospering in your chosen field. We all have different paths. Never copy anyone. Always have a reason for whatsoever thing you want to do. For example, if you want to do a master's program, are you doing it for doing sake? Or are you doing it because others are doing it? Why are you doing it? Have your reasons. If your own line is to, start working, to garner work experience, please do it as well. At the end of the day, it is life and we want to be fulfilled. A man gets to a point in life that money is no longer the drive. I must tell you the truth. At some point, money was the drive for me. I was not ready to settle for anything less. Even when my colleagues while in Lautech already tagged me with the name, Daniel, you're going to be a lecturer in Lautech. Even though there were opportunities to become a lecturer in Nigeria, I'm not saying you should not be, but as for me, because of my dream and the kind of future I envisaged for myself, I said capital no. Because to me, I feel it's not going to help me financially. Well, I might still give back to Nigeria some other time, maybe, after some years, I can still do something. But for now, no, I was chasing something else. But then I've come to a point in my life as well, at this point, that I'm no longer chasing this money. I'm only chasing passion and fulfillment. And that is why, surprisingly, I had to, one of the second reasons why I had to resign from my job to pursue my PhD. I wish you all well. And in this 2 minutes left, in these 2 minutes, I'm going to share an activity 2 with you. I'm going to drop the link in the chat as well. You can log into the link and you can commit your answers to them while we complete this session and move to the next part. Thank you very much once again for having me. Thank you for making me share my private life for the first time to the general public. I do hope that you will not make these efforts go unnoticed in your own life. Thank you. I'm going to stop sharing and I'm going to share the link to the activity I told you. I wish you all the best and I remain your friend, brother, Daniel Adeniranye. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
You're welcome. Are you still seeing my screen, please?
No, we are still.
Okay, I stopped sharing and I'm gonna put the link in the chat for everyone to keep that 3 questions. We have 3 questions there. Yeah, I still have 1 minute. Let me finish my time, Mr. Moderator. So yeah, you can just probably use this time to click on the link and you might probably want to start. But for those that have questions to ask, you can as well, start asking when the time comes. All right, thank you.
Yeah, so we can all click on the link and just copy it to your browser, or you can just click on it. It will take you to it will open your browser, then you can fill in the doc, right? So you can fill in the Google Doc. Yeah. So if you've done that or you've copied it, just let me know. Just say I or just type hello so that I can know. You can say I, can drop I on chat, or you can just say hello or sort. Okay, awesome. Hi. Thank you, Mr. Damilare. Awaiting others. Also, if you have a question, please do drop your question. You can drop it in the chat, or you can either drop it in the chat, or you can, it's not opening, just copy it and paste it in your, I think it is from my end. Try to see again. Try to check. You can just copy it, then go to your browser, then paste it on your browser, then send. Yeah, I think that should work. So if you have a question and you want to, exactly, yes, it is a Google Doc, so I think it should work perfectly. So if you have a question or something you want to ask clarity, don't get the link. Let me no problem. So that's just awesome. Thank you, guys.
I have a question, sir.
Okay, you can go on, Mr. Hello, Mr. Damilare, can you hear us? You said?
My question is.
Go on.
Yes,
sorry.
I can. Can you hear me, sir?
Yeah, we can hear you now perfectly well.
Hello, Mr. Daniel.
Hello, Mr. Damilare.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
I'm not sure we can.
All right, I will just keep it.
If you can go over it again so that we can hear you, please.
All right. Good evening, everyone, and hi, Mr. Daniel. This is my question, sir. At every given point in life, we all face one challenge and the other. For example, now, as Nigerians now, we are faced with the issues of education in Nigeria
and the issue of economy. We are facing both challenges. It's so hard on us at the moment. You want to school, but you don't have these resources to go to school. Okay, get this material, get this done. You don't even have time to even read because of, we just resume now. We have limited time to read a lot of stuff as students now. We have like very limited time, especially in my institution here at Bafem University. We have a very limited time to read a lot of bulky notes. Now, this is my question, sir. You explained, you shared with us your challenges at various points in your lives and stuff like that. But I don't really think you mentioned the way you overcame these challenges. You didn't really mention, but I think you mentioned that we should not just give up or we should not quit. I think you mentioned that, which is actually true. But in the process of not quitting, sir, how were you able to manage these challenges? Because some challenges are just overwhelming. Some challenges can be breathtaking. Like you just sit down and just start thinking and be like, what is this? So, sir, how were you able to overcome each challenge? How were you able to overcome? I know the other challenges you did not share also, maybe academic challenge and so on and so forth. But how were you able to manage each crisis, sir? How were you able to manage each challenge, sir? Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you for the question, Oluwada Milari Oladeji. Please, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, so basically your question is like, we are all faced with different challenges, with all the issues, unpleasant issues in Nigeria. Basically, you want to know how to one overcome all of these challenges. First, let me tell you that challenges come in different forms. The kind of challenge I face will be different from the kind of challenges another person will face, and another person, and another person. Different challenges. The kind of solution that works for me will also be different from the kind of solution that will work for Mr. A or a different Mr. B. What I can say is that for every given challenge, it is personalized. And in that sense, we need to look at them like, okay, let me be sincere to myself. This is the challenge I'm facing. For example, you made mention of at the moment in school and so many materials, overwhelming materials to study and prepare for exam. Okay, I'm being real to myself. Like, this is the big challenge. It's so daunting. What am I going to do? How am I going to overcome this? The first question I would have asked before the ASU strike ended would have been that, what were you doing before the ASU strike ended? Partly, have I been preparing gradually, even while I'm still hustling, trying to make money or doing other commitment, family-wise, and the likes. But at the same time, did I include it in my planning to be preparing gradually, knowing that anytime we resume, it's gonna be work upon work. So I would have said from the very beginning, because this is one of the things I did, I would have prepared ahead in my own little way. There are times also that when there are short breaks in school, during short breaks, I mean in between semester breaks, that I pay the sacrifice to stay behind and not go home. Why? Because that period will be like a kind of preparation period for me to prepare for what is ahead or what the next phase is. Another thing is that during the course of the session, while I am busy taking tutorials, while I am busy with executive position in religious organization, I made sure in order to balance for this, I sleep less. You can't be doing the same routine of yours and expect a different change that will solve the problem. You must be ready to do something different. So if others were sleeping like 8 hours, for example, I was sleeping 4 or 5 hours. Of course, it wasn't easy, but it was a price to pay in order to overcome a challenge. So there will always be a price to pay. That's in terms of academics. In terms of the issue of maybe, like I said, honestly speaking, I tell people don't give any excuse. There is no room for any excuse. In the midst of all of these challenges, there will always be a way out. For example, if you are the type that work with laptop, like you have to design for your customers and the likes, and there is an excuse of there is no power supply, and so because of that, I can't do this, I can't do that. There will also be a way out. What is the way out? Look at them. What can you do in order to get the power supply? Is it possible? Is there a sacrifice I have to pay of going somewhere where they are using generator, or I have to go to somewhere and pay to the cafe and use their facility, or I have to do my task when I feel there'll be power supply and put others aside and do them when there are no power supply, the ones I can do at that time. So there will always be a way out of every instances. When we are faced with one that is so extremely overwhelming that you do not have any physical control on, my brother and the rest of the audience, when you have no physical control, there will always be a control. But when there is no physical control over any challenge, do not kill yourself. Do the little you can and ask God for help to help you in the remaining ones. And that's where I'm going to stop for this question. Thank you. I hope I answer partly your question.
Yes, Mr. Daniel. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Damilare. Any other question? Anyone? You want to ask a question, or you are curious about something you want to ask, make clarification on a particular thing, and then you want to ask him here and help everyone to. Mr. Damilare,
I need a female to ask question. Who is going to be the female? I need a female to ask question.
okay, awesome.
If you ask question now, I will give you preferential treatment in case you shut me up for further questions. Anyone, the same goes to Mr. Damilare. Because you've asked your question publicly, please feel free to chat me on WhatsApp and we can, exchange voice notes to talk on things, private things. Thank you.
I appreciate that.
You're welcome, bro.
Adedolapo BME, Lawa Bolaji, Olayiwola Fumilola, Ibukun, Alalere Joy, Precious Yanda. Who else? You have a question you want to ask?
If no one asks question, I don't know. Can I ask someone?
Okay, Lawa Bolaji wanted to say something.
Sorry, I have a question, but I'm outside in a very noisy place. So that's why I'm very hard for me to chat right now.
We can hear you anyways, if you want to speak.
At the same time, you can type it in the chat.
Okay, like the question is just very simple. Now, all through these challenges, what kept you going? What was your motivation? What do you think could be a motivation to somebody going through a similar circumstance and then want to move out of this circumstance? What was your motivation? What kept you going? Even when things are looking very hard. You said you wrote jam 3 times, and then like you get the cut-off mark, you get more than it. What kept you going? What was your motivation?
Dear Ibukun, in simple words, my motivation was the fact that I did not want to, let me reconstruct it. My motivation was tied to the fact that I don't want to be poor in life because I saw the practical definition of poverty in my family, like I told you. And just unconsciously, at a very early age of my life, it was just in my brain that I don't want to be poor. I mean, I want to be that change agent. Yeah, every family have history. There will be that one person that God is going to use to change the narrative, So as from that early age, even though I'm the last born, I had that sense that I do not want to be poor. And if I don't want to be poor, in the midst of those challenges, I choose not to sleep on them. I choose not to rely on them. I choose not to give excuses, but rather I choose to keep going. I choose to continue. Shall I tell you that there was a point in I think it was in my second year that I didn't really have money at that time, and I fed on mango, which were plucked from random farms in the school. I fed on mango for one full semester. There was no food. There were many times I had kuli and gari. Yeah? So, honestly speaking, it wasn't rosy at all. It wasn't rosy, but my motivation, like I told you, was never to give up and to believe that I'm gonna change things. And so I was not giving any excuses. I was driving further. I was driving further. I was driving myself. I was taking the extra steps. I was going extra miles. I think that's it. And don't let me end it by not saying I was not praying. you need to be prayerful as well, honestly speaking. Whatsoever religion you are serving, make sure you are prayerful and you believe in the God you serve, because some of these things, you can't change them merely by your own physical effort alone. It has to be spiritual as well. All right, thank you. I hope I answer lightly your question. Precious Inyanda, before I take a look on the question in the chat, Mr. Moderator, I hope I am okay. I answered the question by Ibukun.
Oh, Ibukun, your question, was it answered? Was it helpful? The answer, was it helpful? Hello, hi, Ibukun.
Maybe due to location, as she said.
Okay.
Yeah, hello, yeah.
All right, awesome.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank
You're
you.
welcome. And so, Miss Precious, how were you able to overcome temptation that looked like an easy way? Okay, let me tell you this. Like I said, I'm not here to form for anyone. It's not gonna. What am I forming for? What is it gonna give me? That's why I've come to you all in a humble version to tell you my practical life. And this is the same thing I'm going to say on this particular question. I will draw back to my life instances where I face some temptations. I have so many. Let me see which one I can use at this time. Okay, so first, well, there are some things that we might not know they are they are right, but we might also know it's wrong, but due to the situation surrounding it, we just have to keep doing it. For example, I didn't tell you why I was an hustler. I was always helping people to write exams. I was a champion at that because that was the source of getting money before I gained admission to Lautech. I help people to write WAEC exams. I'm employed by principals of schools that will put myself and alongside some colleagues in a separate place where we get access to the questions before the exam students write the exam, and we solve the questions, we provide the answers in the sake for money. It's one of a big temptation for me because when I gained admission, that was this place I was getting money from. Remember, I'm from a poor background. And so will someone preach to me and tell me, don't do that anymore? Then the person should provide money for me. So it was a big temptation. So when I got to my first year, I was still doing that. That was what I know how to do best, writing exams for people, doing runs and getting money. So, but then in my first year, I came to a spiritual and religious understanding of the right things and the wrong things. And I realized that this is wrong. But to stop it, I was like, where do I get money from? Lo and behold, that was when God gave me the idea of first class physics, the textbook I authored as early as my early years in the university, surprisingly. And then I was able to make money from that. So the truth is that when we are thinking that, oh, this is the only way, oh, there is no other way, but then you know that is a wrong thing. If you choose to do the right thing, honestly speaking, sincerely speaking, there will be a right instance that God will bring your way, you know. So that's one. Second, I faced a temptation of ladies flocking around me right from my high school. In fact, they would, once we close from school, they will follow me to my house, stay there in the name of they want to, learn some mathematics. They want me to help them with some maths. There were instances when there were issues of romance coming in, yeah, I won't deny that there were issues of romance wanting to take place, but I always find an escape route at the end of the day. Why? Because I just see that if I if I throw that part, then I won't get there. Like I said earlier in my presentation, most of my colleagues till date that we went to the same high school together, I mean the same secondary school, honestly speaking, most of them are leaders of area touts in Mushin today, in Lagos today. Most of them are area tout leaders. You know why? Because most of them, even before, while me, I was trying to get admission, they've already had 3 children, 4 children, impregnated so many ladies. So I also faced the challenge because that was where I grew up from. In fact, a short radius to my house, to my family room, is a prostitute center where some friends would tell us, let's go there, let's go have sex with this prostitute for a small amount of money, So this, what kind of temptation do you want to face other than what I've just told you? I mean, if you walk on the street, my street, there is a prostitute house where you will just pay little money to have sex. And at that age, we will feel this sexual urge. We want to do all that. So, but then I was intentional. I think God just helped me, not by my power, that I was conscious, like I don't want to miss it. I don't want to make mistake. Let me now drop this with you finally. While I was in the university as well, I faced so many temptations. Many of you that attend religious centers and the likes, fans of people, some sisters that wear skirts alone, some that wear trousers, stuff like that. I faced more temptation from sisters, the so-called sisters that were putting on skirts, as against those that were putting on trousers. So don't be deceived also by the way people dress. I faced female temptations, even in a religious uh, atmosphere. Can you imagine that? Like ladies that were, that want us to do things together and the likes. But let me shock you with this final note. When it was glaring that it's not easy to escape this, I said something, and I thank God for that statement. I was crazy. I told myself, if I ever have sex with anyone while on campus, let me die. This is, I don't employ any of you to do any of this. Honestly speaking, that was what I told myself. And I believe so much in it because religious wise, I believe in words spoken. I believe in whatsoever you confess with your mouth, so shall it be. So I was fully aware that what I have said has been accepted in the spirit realm. And if I have sex with anyone, I'm going to die. So that was one of the escape routes, the drastic escape routes that helped me not to fall into that sexual temptation because I was quite popular on campus. Like I said, I was taking tutorials on campus. So, but it was an escape route for me. So I think you just have to be intentional in your decision making. Honestly, you just have to be intentional in some things. Many of you, I don't know, some of you have boyfriends and girlfriends, which is good. But if you are not seeing your girlfriend or your boyfriend as your real partner, please don't waste your time. Don't waste your time on that. Just if you see, forget about we're going to romance ourselves, we're going to enjoy kissing, we're going to do all that. If you know that it's not going to lead anywhere, why are you keeping such partner? Just close your eyes, make the intentional effort to forget about that and chase your career, And at the end of the day, I'm also an advocate of chase your career, have a good career. Yes, you have a good career. You also want to have a good home. You want to make sure you marry the right person. And yeah, let me stop there before I deviate again. I hope my practical experience again has helped you to answer the question of overcoming temptation. It's not easy anyway.
Yeah, Precious. The experience, was it helpful?
Yes.
Awesome.
Precious, are you still in school or you're working?
I'm in school.
Okay, what level?
About to go to year 3.
Year 3. What school?
School of Nursing
School of Nursing. Where?
in Zamfara.
Okay. Well done. All right. I wish you well.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Any more question from anyone? If you still want to ask a question, we could take one more. About okay. I guess that's all. So want to say thank you so much, sir, for the time. Thank you so much, sir, for the session. Personally, for me, I enjoyed it. I want to say something. Okay. So personally, for me, I enjoyed it, and it was really helpful. And it's more like ginger my own motivation to personally, to know that yes, of course, anything possible if I can commit myself to it. So I really want to say thank you so much, sir. Thank you for the opportunity to come and share with us and to help us to be able to navigate personally to be able to learn from your experience and then be able to apply it to our own life. Things appear from my end. Thank you so much, sir, for sharing those experiences. I really want to say thank you. I from my end, maybe many people might not know, but you sharing it from my end, I know it's a whole lot of things. It's a whole lot of things for you to share this. So I want to say thank you so much. Even when I was looking for your background, I was like, I had to ask that. Can you put this up? Okay, but thank you so much. I really appreciate this. Thank you so much. Guys, please let's show our art of appreciation to Mr. Daniel. That thank you, sir. We really appreciate you. We really appreciate the time. We don't know if you are in the morning or you are in the afternoon or in the evening where you are. But we are around 8:26, 8:30, I guess. So
it's just 2:28. Nigeria is 6 hours ahead of my present location.
Wow, awesome. Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir. We appreciate it.
Can I ask one person something? Abib.
Yeah.
Abib, can I meet you? Abib, is it?
Hello, sir. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Abib. What are you doing presently?
Yeah, I'm teaching. I just got to look for a teaching job.
Okay. You where? In which state?
Yeah, in private school in Oyo State.
Oyo State.
Ogbomoso.
Oh, okay. You finished from Ogbomoso?
No, I finished from Federal University of Agriculture.
No problem. Feel free to send a WhatsApp message if you want us to talk more. And
okay, sir. Sir, how can I get your WhatsApp number, sir?
Only for those that were focused on my presentation. I actually shared it.
Okay. Yeah, I think I have it. I screenshot it.
Okay.
I think so.
Okay. All right. I'm so honored to be here. And honestly speaking, like I said, I want you to be intentional in your pursuits in life. And because of this reason is why I have shared my personal exposure and experience with you so far, which is the best way rather than giving you definitions of certain things. No. And honestly speaking, I'm from a very humble background. And till date, I thank God for how far He has brought me and where I'm still going to. would say you cannot achieve it or you cannot make it when you see a practical person talking to you, someone like your age, let me put it that way, that is sharing his own experience with you. There will always be ups and downs, but don't remain down. I wish you all the best.